So let me just a little backstory. One of the reasons why I got into music. I wanted to be a musician. That was my thing, and and this was during the I grew up in the Beatles era, but in the 70s it became prog rock. So there were just phenomenal musicians. All of a sudden, it was becoming a master at your instrument. And I realized kind of, within a couple, 3 years, that was like, I'm never going to be a drummer like that guy, right? And so I kind of got discouraged, but, kept my foot in it. My brother continues to play today, and he's a computer guy, but still makes a living with bands. But so I grew up in the San Fernando Valley and went to North Hollywood High, and we had friends over at Grant High and so on and so forth. So there were all these unbelievable players that we started meeting and hanging around with. We'd have band practices over at the house. Many of these kids that I've known since they were 12 years old and still know today ended up creating the band Toto, right? Oh. So they were, like, and we were into Yes and Emerson, Lake and Palmer and the Who, and I was, typical, progressive rock and roll guy. So years later, I took my 12-year-old son to see Aerosmith, and he fell in love with Joe Perry and said, "Dad, I want to play guitar."
You're the coolest dad ever.
And yeah, and by the way, I swear to God, in a year, I couldn't believe how he played. Within 18 months, he brought back a tape from a friend of his whose dad worked at Disney and was trying to get him into the Mickey Mouse Club or whatever. But his kid had a little bit of an attitude, and he was not going to be a Disney star. Yeah. But his dad had a friend that played guitar that helped John Ondrasik launch Fight for Fighting. And they went in, wrote some songs, and then brought this kid Davis in to sing the vocals. But they realized, we want to put a bunch of kid, 15, 16-year-olds around Davis. My son went and tried out for the band, and I signed a deal with Atlantic Records for my son's band called Billy Boy on Poison. They were like the little stars of Sunset in about 2007, 2008. They put out an album called Drama Junkie Queen. And I swear to God, to this day, I said that this album would be a Tragic Kingdom. The same thing is No Doubt. I mean, it was really, every song was that good. But the manager, the dad, and I thought to myself, I'm not going to get in the middle of this. I don't want to be one of those dads. And but the band, the manager, who happened to be the lead singer's dad, just turned out to be an idiot. And his son, who was the supposed creative star, yet it was weird because my son was writing most of the songs. They got an offer to open for John Mayer on tour, and Davis, in front of Capitol Records, I think that was John's label, said, "I don't want to open for John Gayer." And it was like, all of a sudden, right? It's like, it's like I say, you got to work smart. Yeah. And it was like, nobody sat these kids down and said, look, here's how it's going to be. And then they started getting really popular, but they didn't like playing the songs everybody came to play. They wanted to play their new song, right? I mean, it was just that kind of thing. So they went from playing the Download Festival, that's a heavy metal festival in the UK, to the Fuji Festival in Japan, to touring with the Stone Temple Pilots. They had a great thing. They made more money on their songs featured on the Kardashians, on a movie called Mirror. I mean, they were in Super Bowl commercials. Their music was used. They made more money doing that, but they never, it was just that brass ring just went. So anyway, I have watched firsthand bands succeed and bands fail, and I see what works and I see what doesn't. Yeah. So, I mean, like I say, I think you guys are just doing all the right things, and it's, I can't tell you whether or not it's going to blow up and be everything. But all I can tell you is don't ever stop if you still love doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel we're totally right on the right direction that we need to be in. You mentioned Joe Perry. I know that he's also in Hollywood Vampires with Johnny Depp.
Right.
And Cooper. She just got a cat endorsement who also provides them with microphones and all kinds of equipment. So
that's huge.
Yeah, and you know, they have other plans to do shows later on down the road when things reopen as well, and we're gonna try to hop on some of that. But
I think that's great.
Right, we're keeping every avenue open because, you like you said, you never know where it could take you.
No,
and, you don't want to come off as a snob.
It's funny. My kids' band signed a deal with Gibson, and so Gibson was giving them guitars. The dadager was pawning every single one of them.
Wow.
Went on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and the thing was, play your Les Pauls. None of them had the, my kid played a Gretsch. The other lead guitarist played his SG. And it was like, I mean, at least it was a Gibson, but they were supposed to be Les Pauls, and just one stupid thing after another. That's why you get rid of the idiots as soon as you can identify them. But it was so hard for me to go,
Mark, why didn't you kick his butt?
Yeah,
I know.
Should have. Sometimes you have to.
You should have.
Yeah. Well,
if you don't insert yourself, then you let idiots like that ruin everything.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. And I get that. And but listen, that's why really, and then, I mean, my kid also, I find a lot of artists, very creative artists, have got, tics, right? And unfortunately, my son, who has a great voice, just, text me or email me, Twitter, Instagram will find me. But I'll send you some of the stuff that he's written and produced on the computer at home. That's been incredible. And he's a great singer, but he has terrible social anxiety.
Oh.
The thought of getting up in front of people, he wants to be that guy way in the background. So what he would like to do is find somebody that would sing. I mean, he's all up on co-writing and so on and so forth. And so now he's decided, so he was a guitarist, great guitarist, especially slide guitar. He decided he wanted to learn piano. He told me at the beginning of the pandemic, I want to learn to play Rachmaninoff. I go, fuck, Rachmaninoff. And by God, that guy was 10 hours a day just learning piano. He can play Rachmaninoff and now wants to say, no, this is the way piano, that's how you got to compose keyboards. And now talks about he wants to write for TV, music, or, just something where he wouldn't necessarily have to be in the front. So, just
the limelight on him.
We understand a lot of people that are like that. And I totally get it, especially in our day and age, because it sucks. At least back then in the 60s and 70s, you had magazines and you had TV specials, right? But now,
you could still kind of make it yourself private and personal. Everybody now, all the artists just let everything out now. They all have their Instagrams or Twitters that you can watch and stalk them for hours.
That's we don't really.
I'm not about that.
Yeah, it sucks because
I like the mystery.
You have to put yourself out there, right? Yeah. I mean, network with the right people. But there's some people that just put out so much of their own personal lives on social media that it kind of forces everybody else to like, okay, well, I guess we have to do this, right? And the mystery is gone. Like back then, the Doors.
Imagine Jim Morrison just posting. It'd be kind of like, that's weird,
Yeah, like
he had that like mysteriousness to him.
There was some mystery to artists, and it worked. It made you want to see more.
I missed that.
Yeah. And you look at it like a Daft Punk, right? Who developed.
Oh
you just hid behind something.
I would love to stay, but my mom made fried chicken.
No invite, bro. You want to do that collaboration? We want some of that chicken.
That's the payoff, right?
When I get back to LA, I don't get that kind of stuff, man. So I'm going for it now.
She has to bring you a picnic basket.
All right.
Well, I'm gonna go check on my mom. My mom has got this beautiful. It's just such a beautiful home, and she's got such fantastic art. This is why I didn't have Christmases when I was growing up. She was saving to buy all her art. Not giving it to me, but No, anyway, you guys. All right. Hope I get to talk to both of you guys soon. Congratulations.
Likewise.
Great music.
Yes.
And you know, I mean, you guys know all the other songs on the project too. So there's you guys are all in great company. Congratulations.
Thank you
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
All
Yeah,
right.
if you don't
Hope to
help
talk
me-
to y'all soon.